So, welcome everybody. So it is 12:32 now on Thursday, the 4th of February. So Steph and I thought we would give people a little sneaky peek. That's with a double E, sneaky peek, and a little look into what we do at ADHD Unlocked, so that we could show people the portal and just talk about why we started, and maybe bring a couple of our members in. I can see some of our members have already joined to talk about what they've already got out of membership and the reasons why we started this in the first place. So that's what we thought we'd do, is we'd just do a little bit of a share and open up our world of ADHD Unlocked and what we can offer to people, and see how we can reach more people to give the support that we do to our existing members, which is growing day by day. So yes, we started about a year ago live. We've been talking about it for a couple of years, about starting something which is completely unique, actually, Steph, isn't it, in the world at the moment. There's nothing quite like the support that we offer at ADHD Unlocked for adults with ADHD, and that's whether you diagnose formally or you suspect you have ADHD. In the world, there's various coaching programs and training programs and all sorts, but nothing that kind of amalgamates everything and all the offering that we do, is there, Steph? But we started going live during lockdown last year, the first lockdown, didn't we, Steph?
Yeah, we did. And we were going live every day, remember, at 12:30.
Yes, every day we would do a live broadcast and just talk about some aspect of our ADHD. And at the time we didn't quite know exactly what we were going to offer as part of the membership. But through those lockdowns and through those live broadcasts, we grew our following, and people with ADHD said, we could really do with some help with this. We really need support on this. So this is how we started. But I got diagnosed nearly 4 years ago with ADHD. I'm 48 now, so I was 44 at the time. And that was after a suicidal crisis kind of led on to events that got my diagnosis, which I'm now very, very grateful for, because I'd had decades of thinking I was a bit of a failed human and I had all this potential, and what happened, and I couldn't quite make my life work, and, you know, chronic procrastination, overwhelm, periods of depression, anxiety, you know, feeling like I just couldn't make my life work. Everything's messy, everything seems so difficult. And just thinking that everybody else had these difficulties but could just overcome them. And I was just a bit of a rubbish adult, and the guilt and the shame, and, you know, been divorced twice, the guilt and the shame that goes alongside thinking, well, what happened to your life? Why do you seem to find everything so difficult? What's the explanation for this? You know, is all consuming, isn't it, Steph? But I'm not the only adult that's had a late diagnosis.
Yeah, not at all. So I coach adults with ADHD. And then more and more are coming, more and more are getting assessed and diagnosed and looking for support. And yeah, one of the reasons why I really wanted to develop ADHD Unlocked with Michelle was that not all the services that are currently available aren't easily accessible for the vast majority of ADHDs, and particularly coaching services is not cheap. So I really wanted to, with Michelle's help, us together, is to get a service that we can reach as many ADHDers as we can that need support, that don't understand their ADHD. And as we talk about so often in ADHD Unlocked, it's so important to look through the ADHD lens, you know, at yourself, to understand what it is that's holding you back, and develop that compassion, which we really kind of definitely like support in our community.
Exactly. So it's self-compassion as well, which is at the core. And we tend to talk really badly to ourselves, don't we, as adults with ADHD, and really castigate ourselves and have real negative self-talk. You know, we've spent our lives calling ourselves a failure, feeling like a failure, other people making us feel like failures. So one of the reasons we developed this was because we know that pain, that shame, of feeling that you failed, of feeling you haven't lived up to your potential, but knowing with a bit of extra help that you can fulfill your potential, and knowing what we're like on our good days, and all of the talents that we have that arguably are because of our ADHD, that we can't quite make use of because of the impairments that our ADHD give us. We just wanted to give that little boost, those reminders, those tactics, that toolbox, those strategies, that sense of community, to just lift us to that place where our ADHD, you know, we can realize our potential. It's always going to be there, but it's supported. It's that scaffolding that we give at ADHD Unlocked. And I mean, even I personally, even though we started this, I feel that I've been really transformed just through doing the exercises that we teach everybody else. Because out of sight, out of mind, we know what we need
That's
to
exactly
do it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that you've noticed the change in me, because I was in a very, very difficult place. Medication goes so far, but when you've had decades of being undiagnosed, you do need to work on the psychological stuff, the community stuff, and the other practical scaffolding, don't you, Steph?
Yeah, and another reason why coaching doesn't kind of do it all for ADHD is that the community element. So I'd be coaching someone, and a lot of ADHDs have a real hard time believing they've got ADHD, that it's just all too convenient. And so it was really difficult with some clients. It takes a while to get them to really just accept that it is ADHD, because sure, I've got ADHD. So as their coach, they, they can kind of take my word for it or not really. ADHDs aren't very good at doing that, right? We need to see for ourselves. And so in a community, there's a lot more, a lot more people to normalize the experience, to get them to be able to get to that place where, well, hang on, this is too much of a coincidence. So actually this is valid. This is a thing. And it's knowing that it is a thing that makes all the difference, that it's real, that, we can cut ourselves a break, that we can start actually looking through the right lens.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of being a part of this community, and what we offer, particularly with our group meetings, when people say, oh, I didn't realize you did that as well. And it's like talking to loads of different people that are really similar, and just feeling that kind of tribe
Yeah, like
mentality.
yesterday. Yeah, we had our members meet up. This week we're focusing on admin. We call it madmin. So we're talking about tackling admin with ADHD this week. So we've got our members looking at looking at their admin tasks, trying to identify what's on what's on their plate, but also to try and prioritize, well, kind of what is the important admin to do. And this stuff, right, it's really hard for us to do on our own because it's so confronting. Also evokes a lot of emotional responses, like just looking at a car parking fine, or like some ADHDers I've had in sessions where I'm like, okay, let's file. And literally they can't move past that first letter or something that just then reminds them of a time that they failed, and then the emotional stuff takes over, and then they can't actually do the actual filing.
Yeah, that emotional kind of fight, flight, or freeze, and it's typically freeze with me with the admin. It's such a sense of shame. It's such a sense of shame, but when you share it with people, as we say, shame dies when you share it in safe places, and our Unlocked community is a safe place to share this with, and a few of our members have been making comments. It makes such a difference knowing other people have had the same experiences as you. It really, really does. You don't feel so alone, and that shame really lessens, and then ironically you're more able to get on with stuff, and you feel less overwhelmed because you're not beating yourself up. So yes, hello to everybody, and hello to new people that have joined us, and we'll take some questions at the end. But we're rather excited, aren't we, Steph, about our members portal and what we can offer. So as well as the group sessions and the Zoom sessions, we have a whole host of information on our site that you can access. So we're very excited to show you it. It's always a bit hairy, and our Steph gets ready to share the screen because Zoom can be a little temperamental technologically. So and as with people with ADHD, we do have anxiety, so the Zoom anxiety is a thing. But here we go, Steph's sharing the screen. So when you become a member of ADHD Unlocked, you get access to our exclusive members portal. So here it is. So when you land on the home page, you have a little bit of a welcome. So new members, you're shown what to do. So watch the welcome video. Join the members Facebook group, which is exclusive for members, which offers a lot of support and a lot more resources than the wider group. And then you can have a look at your schedule, which we'll show you in a minute, and fill out your member profile, where you can find accountability buddies, put a little photo on, put a little bit of information about you, and then you can kind of swap details with people you find on our member directory and offer each other support in that way, in a more detailed way. But if we scroll down, Steph, on the page, you can join one of our live sessions. Now, typically we have 4 live sessions a week with occasional extra ones as well. So the main part of the week is our Monday webinar, which is for 45 minutes on a Monday lunchtime, but it is recorded, so you can access it anytime. So if you just click on one of those sessions, you can click straight into one of the sessions, which is brilliant. So you don't have to actually, if you keep logged in over Zoom, you can just join straight away. And that gives information on the subject of the week, which we focus on, and lots of hints and tips. And on a Tuesday, we have a Smash It session. Now, our Smash It sessions are procrastination busting sessions. You know what it's like when somebody's watching you, it's much easier to get stuff done, or if you're in a group. So what we do is we have special hour-long sessions once a week, either on a lunchtime or an evening on a Tuesday, where you can either clean your cooker or file some paperwork, or basically, get some admin done. So somebody's just said, love a Smash It. Smash It's are great. Some people have been known to you know, change their duvet cover, all of that sort of thing, tidy up their garage, as well as get stuff done. I mean, one of our members, I think, did a legal letter that she'd been putting off for 6 years in one of the Smash Its.
That's our record.
Yeah, she lay down and cried at the end of the session, because it's just so much fun to do it with the support of everybody on a Zoom session. And then on a Wednesday, either on a lunchtime or an evening, we alternate between the weeks, we have our meetings, and that's just like a chat and a support group meeting over Zoom. Incredibly useful. That we have laughter, tears, and you just don't feel so alone. So a really wonderful group meeting that we have once a week for our members on a Wednesday. So I don't know if, Steph, you've got anything to add about the Wednesday meetups?
Yeah, it was great. We had a fantastic one yesterday. It was in at lunchtime, really good turnout. And the thing is, right, the community is the resource. You guys are the resource. We all know ADHDers are incredibly resourceful, love to learn. I mean, that's why we fall down rabbit holes, right? We do so much research, a lot of us. We know a lot, but the issue is that we don't, you know, do what we know. You know, we know what to do, don't do what we know. But the beauty about this community as well is that, you know, you can share that knowledge. And, you know, when you're sharing the knowledge, you're often going to be helping other people in the community. And that in itself brings such a kind of satisfaction, such a great feeling to be doing something meaningful. So just being part of the community and sharing and helping other members is just fantastic. And we're so grateful because, you know, us, you know, we learn more strategies that we can put forward. So it just, yeah, together we're better is our kind of like tagline, and it's so true.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. I really enjoy the Wednesday meetups. But just to pick up some comments in the chat, we just said Smash It's a magic, and then one of our members just said, sometimes I think that's not something I want to do, I'll save it for a Smash It session, which is great. And somebody said, don't forget to mention the tunes. Yeah, we do put some uplifting music on as well, which you can choose to listen to. So somebody's just asked about the Smash It sessions. Do you have the video on? You can choose to have your video on or not. So it's entirely up to you. You can just join and not have your video on, so that's absolutely fine. If some people do that if they want to do their like yoga or some exercising, and you know, they don't want people to see them running on the spot, you know, in their undies, which we don't want to see either, really, quite frankly. So yeah, you can choose to have your video on or not. So we have some wonderful sessions during the week. Friday recap, Friday lunchtime, we have 15 minutes. They're recorded, they're put on the portal as well, to watch later, so that you can have a look at the topic of the week. So there are live sessions. You can join straight from the portal, so you don't have to faff around with logging into Zoom. It just goes straight in. But we have so many resources that you have access to all of them if you become a member. So Steph, we click on guided learning. There's 2 different ways you can access all of our information. So if we click on guided learning, you can pick a topic category. So if you want to understand a little bit more about your ADHD or your health and well-being as relates to ADHD, managing relationships, managing work, preparing for success with ADHD. You can click on, maybe let's click on understanding ADHD, and it will take you to all of the different subjects that are under that category. And there's lots and lots, and we add to them week on week. So we're building up a huge library of information which you can access and sort and search through really, really easily. But you can work through this at your leisure, or you can just pick and choose, and we'll show you what you get on each subject. So if we click on, I don't know, let's pick something like rejection sensitive dysphoria as a random one, which not a lot of people know is related to ADHD. And then you have the webinar for the week, which is recorded, which you can watch. So that will talk you through. So there's usually 45 minutes. Or you can listen to the recording as an audio file, a bit like a podcast, while you're doing other stuff, while you're maybe driving or cleaning up or doing something else. So you can listen to it like a podcast, or you can just have a quick look at the slides if you don't have time. And they're downloadable, so you can go through and you can do some learning if you like slides, and it'll tell you all about rejection sensitive dysphoria, and also give you some ways to tackle it. How do we deal with it, and strategies, etc., and how to, and give you some goals as well. So do an audit of all the times you feel rejected, that kind of thing. So they're the slides. And then if you look at the focus goal, it will go over the strategies that you need to maybe try that week to try and combat your RSD or lessen it. We also have a little quiz to check. You don't have to do the little quiz, but if you want to see how much you've learned, you can do a little knowledge quiz on the subject.
You've got 100%, Michelle.
Well done. Well done. I should hope so too, Steph, that you would have scored 100% on our quiz. And then if you click on the resources, you can watch the 15-minute recap for the week, and then there's a summary of all of the stuff that we covered on this.
Yeah, because we try to, we completely get that ADHD is, we all have dominant processing styles and preferred kind of processing styles and the way we want to take in information. So we've tried to kind of cover everything, so that if you just like to listen, you've got the audio version. If you like to read, you've got the summary or the presentation slides. If you like to watch, you've got the webinar. So there should be something for your kind of preferred way of taking in information. And I guess one other thing to note, there is a lot of information on here, which is great, but it's better to look at it as like a smorgasbord. You don't have to go in and like pile everything on your plate all at once. You can just keep coming back, like one of our members, Stephen, was saying that, whatever's going to be relevant for you at the time, go and check it out. And so that's the guided learning route, and it's great for people that like to do things in a structured way perhaps, and like to see their progress. We've got a progress tracker, and that kind of tracks all the different topics you've looked at. It's because some ADHDers like to see that type of data and evidence. It gives them motivation. So hopefully it kind of will, any particular way, there'll be a way that suits you.
Yeah, and one of the attendees, you've just asked basically about scared you'll fail taking it all in. You don't have to take it all in. You can just pick and choose. So if you click on browse topics, Steph.
Oh, sorry.
We can have a look at, you can just dip in and out. And I know a lot of our members just dip in and out. Don't feel that you have to cover anything. It's not a course. No. You can treat it like a course, which is why we've structured it both ways. But if you just want to have a look at one of the topics, you can just click on it and it'll take you to that page. There's no failing here.
Yeah, most of our members, if you saw, I think in the chat, one member was saying, that made me laugh, but one member was saying, I'm glad I joined because I haven't actually looked at, the portal. And that's why we love, that's why it works so well. We've all got ADHD, we all relate to this type of thing. Michelle and I as well, in some respects, you should listen to some of the conversations Michelle and I have offline about maybe some of the things that I've done, like, oh, whoops, we all make mistakes. So, but what matters is like that we see it in, with perspective, and being in a group of other ADHDers is the best perspective, I think, that you can get for us to be able to just go, okay, well, this is quite common. You're normalizing it, right?
Yeah.
but obviously still wanting to, you know, get better at certain things, but not beat ourselves up, because
Yeah.
it's just, we shouldn't,
No.
um, as it should. Michelle, quick.
There's nothing to fail here. It's just there for your support. You can dip in and out. You don't have to look at it if you don't want to. One of our members has just said dipping in is the best method. Another member's just said topic the other week wasn't one of the priorities for their ADHD, so just skipped it, but just did the smash it session instead that particular week. You can dip in and out as to whatever's useful. It's all there for when and if you need it. Go, look, I'm having a real problem with anxiety this week. I'm having a real problem with conflict in relationships this week, or whatever, or with work. You just dip in, you can look at things, you can just pick and choose, and the information is there. So yeah, for example, somebody's just said sleep was really relevant. So they've just looked at that because they're having trouble sleeping that week. So we've got loads of stuff on sleep.
And guys, this is a good one. Embracing failure, very important, because yeah, and changing. We're all about reframing here at ADHD Unlocked as well.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got heaps of stuff, and just to kind of hurry things along a bit, we've just got I mean, there's loads and loads of videos that we did during the live stream, so there's hundreds of hours if you want it, or you can sort it all by subject. But on the resources section as well, we've got downloadable PDFs and hint and tip sheets. I can't say hint and tips, I normally say something ruder, but I managed to say it properly that time, which is great. So you can download stuff that can really help you, that you can pin up to your notice boards, planners, all that sort of thing. So there's heaps of stuff there, as well as being able to access your account and being able to fill in your details, that kind of thing, searching the member directory. We also have a scheme where if you refer other people, you can earn money for either for yourself or pass it on so that somebody else can have membership. But for what we offer, it's incredibly cost effective. I mean, we've seen some stuff that's similar in the United States that, you know, is often kind of group coaching. So it's not really group coaching. There's much more to it than that is charging hundreds of dollars a month, or for a 12-week course or whatever. Now, you can either pay annually, which gives a bigger discount, or you can pay monthly. And it's literally just the price of a takeaway month. It's only £29 a month, or you can pay £279 for the entire year. And for what you get hours and hours of contact time should you need it. You don't have to attend every session. It's just drop in as and when you need it. Access to all of this learning information, so you can not only learn yourself about your ADHD, but you can share with family, friends, work colleagues, loved ones, to help them understand your ADHD. So for what we offer, and we wanted to make it incredibly cost effective, didn't we, Steph? So it was really, really accessible to as many people as possible. Because we did money last week. We know that many people with ADHD do struggle with money, particularly during the pandemic, which is why we've made it so affordable. And for what we offer, it's, you know, 10-15 times the reduced cost, you know, to what some charging in the States. So we're absolutely delighted. Our membership is growing week in, week out. You know, we don't worry about if, you know, we get lots and lots of members. We have different little groups on the Zoom sessions. So yeah, as somebody's just said, one of our members just said, I genuinely think it's excellent value. So thank you for the price. Yeah, we didn't want to make it unaffordable. So that's why we do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording now so people can speak freely, and you can come in and ask questions. So do feel free to raise your hands if you've got any questions about membership. But we're really genuinely delighted to have so much interest, and we just wanted to do this so that we could open it up to give more of the benefit to more people. So feel free to ask questions either in the chat written, or if you want to come in and speak, raise your hand and it'll be kept completely private.